welcome to the Minutes to Movement free training, in which I'm going to teach you today how to lose 15 pounds of body fat in 90 days without gyms, without restricted diets. My goal here is to give you as much value as possible, so we're going to go ahead and get straight into it. Real quick, my name is Dr. Caleb Allen. I'm a physical therapist, doctor of physical therapy. I have my bachelor's of science degree in exercise physiology, and also I'm a functional range conditioning mobility certified specialist. So getting into it, quickly we can play a quick game of how many. So how many times have you tried to get in shape, but life happened? How many days it went by where you said, I need to change? How many times have we stayed there? And then, what if? What if we could actually do these things? What if we could get past this place where we are and actually take action and get in the best shape and secure future health and lead by example? What if? It brings me to my next question of why? Why are we here? Why are you watching this presentation right now? Why are you trying to seek out help? I'm going to go through these. So we have a few different reasons as for why. We're going to start with the outer layer. So first, you want to lose body fat. Probably with that, also want to build lean muscle. And you want to do these together. You don't just want to lose weight. You actually want to make changes in your body composition. Going from there, you probably want to have better fitting clothes. And what does that lead to? Having more confidence, feeling better in your own skin. Now, whenever our clothes fit good in the dressing room and want to buy them and people compliment us on how much changes we're making, that feels good. We get a lot of internal validation from that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Also, you probably want to have more natural energy. Okay, now these are the superficial or the outer layer of reasons of why. But together, if we dive down deeper to why are we really here? Like, why do we really want to make these changes? That leads us to the big whys. Okay, and we break these down. I find that we want to secure a sustainable future health. Okay, now I'm going to relate with you here that maybe if you have someone in your family who's a little bit older than you, who hasn't taken the best care of themselves, and you see them starting to deteriorate and using the excuse of, oh, I'm just getting old. I have some relation with that in my family, and it doesn't feel good, honestly. Health is something big to me. I want to lead by example and do the best that I can as I move forward. Now, that feeling I have towards those people, if I isolate that feeling and then take it away, that's a feeling that I never want someone younger than me or in my family to have about me. I want them to be inspired by me. I want them to see me climbing that mountain as I'm 75, 80 years old. Like, wow, he can do it. I can too. I never want to say the words, oh, I used to be able to do that. That leads me to, we probably want to lead by example and inspire others. Okay, talk's cheap. When we walk the walk, that's what really shows, and people really respond to that. Now, if you have children, if you have people in your life that are looking up to you, you probably want to serve as a great role model of what health and fitness can be and what it should actually look like. So we also want respect. This comes from internal and external. We want to have self-love and self-respect and know that we put in the work. But also there's something to be said that whenever we walk into the room for the first time or someone fit walks into a room, everyone has a little bit more respect for them at first because they know that they put in that hard work and they're willing to let go of those short-term gratifications and do something that really takes time and effort and taking care of themselves. Also, you probably want to fill your own cup. If you're a parent, especially, you most likely take care of so many people and do so many things. And I commend you and respect you so much for doing that. And you're taking your cup and you're pouring, pouring, pouring out for everyone. But eventually, if you're not filling your own cup, it's going to run dry and nothing's going to come out. And we don't want that. Like, for you to take care of other people and provide, you have to take care of yourself sometimes. So maybe you just want to treat yourself and actually feel good for once. And I totally understand that. Lastly, we want to love the mirror again, and not what we see in the mirror, but who we see in the mirror again. We want to really know that that person has showed up, that person is taking care of themselves, and that person is the best version of themselves. And that's what I want for you. Now, I will say, I've been fortunate enough to do this with a few people already, like Steph, who's 2 months in and seeing these kinds of changes. Dee, who I've been working with for 3 months now and has lost 4 inches off of her waist. My buddy Ross, who I've been working with for 3.5 to 4 months now and is seeing some crazy changes and getting to play with his kids. He's lost over 15 pounds already, which I think is phenomenal. This guy, all these people are just like you. They're working 40 plus hours a week. They have responsibilities. They may be parents, they may be in school. They're doing all these things, but they're still making it happen. So if you're wanting these things, understand that other people are doing them too, and you can achieve them as well. But first, to get there, we have to get past this wall. So this is you. This is the wall of problems that's keeping you from getting here. I'm going to break those down for you now. So with these problems, I'm going to go through one by one, but I've identified 5 that commonly show up and what big one that it leads into. We're going to break those down one at a time. First one is time itself. Okay, you're a busy person. I get it. I've been there too. I know you have a lot of stuff going on between work, between kids, between all your other obligations and social events. 100% get it. 100% relate. Okay. With that, time is the only thing that we do not get back. Okay. And that's, we can spend money, we can make money back, we can have experiences, have different ones, but time we will not get back. So that leads into support. So maybe you've tried something like this before, but you didn't have the actual support, be it was people that were close to you that were not positively supporting you in the way that you would have hoped for, which can be very painful. I've experienced that as well. Or it could be you just didn't have the external positive support from another group of people who are doing the same thing as you. I'm going to break that down a little bit more later on. However, support is a huge part of this to keep us on track. Okay? Maybe you had some pain. This could be emotional or physical. It could be from the lack of support or the wrong support giving us the emotional pain. And it could also be physical pain. Maybe you have that little shoulder injury or neck pain or back pain or hip pain that's been keeping you down for so long. All these things blend together and there's a huge overlap. Maybe you went and spoke with a doctor before about this, and be it your emotional or physical pain, and you felt very dismissed. Like they didn't give you the time of day and just were typing on the computer the whole time. I know that doesn't feel good. Leading into the next, maybe you had information overload. Like you have that folder on Instagram full of saved workouts and nutrition tips that just keeps on getting bigger, and you haven't sat down and actually went through it and made a program and plan for you that's going to work because you don't know where to start. And I totally understand that. That takes time to do. And then that builds into now having an actual structured plan, okay? Versus just going out there and doing something random that you see one day and then something else the next and then falling off. All these problems kind of blend into one each other and build upon one another. And when we take all of them, what we get when we go down is this one big problem that keeps you where you are. And that is being inconsistent and failing to be consistent with your workouts, with your nutrition, with your accountability, all of that. Okay, so that is what really makes up this wall that we're seeing here. So I'm going to go on a limb and say that you probably tried getting past this wall before. Okay, you probably started making this climb and you use a couple different tools. One of those was probably some cookie cutter program that you found off the internet. Maybe it was Beachbody, maybe it was Insanity, maybe it was something that wasn't really designed specifically for you and your goals to try to get there. Maybe you joined a gym, okay, and you started dealing with some of the issues that I personally didn't really like about going to gyms, be it the culture, be it overcrowded, waiting on equipment, sitting in traffic, having to get there, the high membership fees, etc. Maybe you tried working with a personal trainer before. Now, this one may have worked for a little bit, but you got to realize that you're only with this personal trainer for a short amount of time. Like you had them for 30 to 45 minutes, 2-3 times a week. And mind you, they were charging you $80 to $100 an hour for this time. But when you weren't with them, you didn't really have that accountability. Like they're great where you're working out, but outside of that time, you had so many more hours in the day that you weren't getting that support. Maybe you tried some fad diets before, like maybe the Atkins diet, something like that, or keto. And that worked for a little bit, but it just really wasn't sustainable, which leads into the next. Maybe you tried a restricted diet before and you like counting calories, and that didn't work for you because you couldn't eat any of the foods that you love. And you're around family, you're around other people who cook good food. Totally understand. So I'm willing to bet you tried some of these here and started trying to climb in that wall. And you probably started making some success here and there. But eventually, life happened. Life happened and knocked you right off that wall, and we found ourselves to be inconsistent again. Maybe we got back on, started climbing more, but either way, we fell back down. So we found ourselves in this yo-yo, essentially, to where we would start losing weight, and then we start gaining it back. We start getting stronger, and then we lose our strength. We start being consistent and really being motivated, and life happened, and we fall back to where we are. And it's lead us to being stuck on this hamster wheel, to where we're just going around and round and round, trying so hard and failing. And over time, this leads us to just being very, very frustrated, still in front of that wall, still not getting over it to our goals. So eventually, the wall looks even bigger. Okay, and at this point, those problems are still there. There may be a different combination for everyone specifically, but either way, this is what's making up that wall that keeps us from getting to our goal. And now the wall looks bigger and we feel even smaller because we've tried and failed so many times. So today, I'm going to give you the ladder, okay, to help you get over this wall with much less effort and much less time. And it's not going to involve going to gyms and spending hours on cardio. It's not going to require hour-long workouts and taking all of your time, and you're still going to be able to have your favorite foods like pizza, cake, and ice cream. It can be done, and I'm going to give you these tools today to help you get there, finally over that wall, to stay on the other end for the rest of time. That way you can have all these things we identified earlier, which are the outer layer of whys and the deep whys. Okay, and I'm so excited to give this to you. First, before I do give it to you, I want to tell you a little bit about my story, because maybe you're asking, how do you know all this? And it's because everything I'm about to teach you and I've been doing with everyone else is stuff that I've done myself, stuff that I've learned through years and years of experience, trials and tribulations, and I want to make that easier for you. Now, real quick, if you really want support on this, if you want guaranteed success, all you have to do at this point is just go ahead and book a call with me, and then I'll get very clear on where you are, what you're struggling with, and how to best support you, and I will walk you step by step through this. If you want to go ahead and do that, click the link and book a call, and I can't wait to speak with you. Totally up to you. I'm going to keep going and tell you my story and then give you the solutions to these problems. So, about me. I graduated physical therapy school in 2016 as a doctor of physical therapy, and then I started working as a travel physical therapist. I was very fortunate to have a great income, to be traveling the United States, helping lots of people, meeting great people, being in different places, and meeting new faces, and really perfecting my craft of learning the human body. As I was doing this, I started to see photos of myself where I was starting to get out of shape. And I grew up an athlete. I grew up an exercise physiology major and personal trainer in my past, but I started getting out of shape. How did this happen? And I started seeing more and more photos of myself. I was just very unhappy. The life I was living was not the life that I wanted to be living. I was drinking. I was eating bad food. I was taking short-term gratifications and not taking care of my body and mind the way I wanted to. So what did I do? The only thing I knew to do, I joined a gym and started doing the old workouts again. Chest day, arm day, leg day, bench press, core workouts, running on the treadmill, etc. And this would work from time to time whenever I was consistent with doing it. But that was the problem, is I couldn't stay consistent because I had other things I like to do. Okay, I love being out in nature. I loved hiking. I love going on dates. I love being with friends. It just wasn't working for me to go spend hours at the gym. And not to mention, I just didn't like being at the gym because of the culture, because of sitting in traffic, because of walking in after working a 10-hour shift and just being mentally fatigued and having to figure out what I wanted to do. It just wasn't working for me. Finally, after years and years of trying this, I kept on seeing photos of myself like this and said, you know what? I've got to figure something out. Something's got to change. Something's got to give. Let's make a solution here. So I ordered a kettlebell and started working out and committing myself to working out multiple times per week in less than 30 minutes using just my body weight and one piece of equipment at home. And before long, I started seeing amazing results. The body fat started rolling off. My mobility was improving. I was feeling stronger. I had more energy. And I ended up around this area where I am now. And it's something that I've been able to craft to help with other people. So my mission after my own experiences is to help others become the best version of themselves, to lead by example and inspire, and to break the generational cycle in less time with less equipment. And I can't wait to give you those solutions right now. So thanks for listening to my story. So step one, you probably heard the saying, birds of a feather will flock together. And it couldn't hold more true in life, in my opinion, especially with health and fitness. So the University of Harvard School of Public Health actually did a study and found that a person's chance of becoming obese increases by 57% if their close friend is obese. Now, what does that mean? That means that essentially the saying, you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. Okay? So if you are going about this and trying to get in the best shape of your life and trying to become the best version of yourself, but you're surrounded by people who aren't doing the same, it's going to be challenging. So the first step is surround yourself with people who are wanting to do the same thing. Okay, and that's gonna be an online community. It's gonna be having an accountability buddy who you're going to the gym with, and you text, or working out with, etc., that you just keep in contact with. That's important. That's going to help you stay on track and help you stay consistent. And having good support from someone who is really wanting to see you become the best version of yourself. I've encountered things where I'm trying to do things better in my life, and someone maybe that threatens them, maybe they project onto me, say like, well, why are you doing this? I know that can be painful. I don't want you to experience that. That's something that whenever I work with people, I'm always encouraging and motivating. And I actually have an online community to where we all are doing this together as well, to lift each other up and support us to our goals. So I found this helps us become accountable and also helps us become consistent. And we want to stress being consistent over being perfect. Okay? We're not perfect. We are human. Life is going to happen. We're going to fall off the wagon. It's a matter of having that support system in place to help us get back on the wagon when this does happen. And that is so important. So ultimately, this is going to save us time, okay? Versus doing the same thing, being stuck on that hamster wheel and experiencing that yo-yo effect. This is going to help us get there faster. Now, number two, did you know this? That up to 67% of gym memberships will go completely unused. Pretty wild stat, right? Why do you think that is? Time. Also, you know that half of new members in gyms quit within the first 6 months. Why do you think that is? Time. Now, what leads to that? Well, traffic. If you've ever been sitting in traffic after work, just getting angry, trying to go exercise and being mentally exhausted. Maybe the gym culture you don't like, of all the influencers in there flexing in the mirror, taking their shirt off and forming little clicks and stuff. If that's not for you, I totally understand. And crowded equipment. If you ever walked into the gym to start getting a workout and you finally figure out what you want to go do, but then you have to wait 10 minutes for someone else to finish up their set on. That just doesn't work for me, and probably doesn't work for you either. So if your goals are to burn body fat, build lean muscle, improve your mobility, and increase your metabolism, here's the solution to that problem. You're going to focus on performance over form, okay? And what that means is we're not training to get on stage and flex and look good. We're training to make our body move better. If we can do this through working out at home, okay? We eliminate all the problems of the gym, and we do it in much, much less time, okay? Much less time. And we do this with one piece of equipment. My favorite is a kettlebell. There's so much you can do with a kettlebell, and I love to teach this because it's what I do myself. That's what's worked best for me. As we do this, we're going to see improvements in our full body strength, not just one specific muscle. Our whole body is going to get stronger. We're going to have better mobility. We're going to start correcting imbalances in our body. We're going to increase our metabolism to start burning fat while we're sleeping. Now, my recommendations for getting started with this is that first you go through a movement screen to make sure there are no orthopedic issues and we are able to correct any deficits before getting started with heavier weight, especially as we're scaling up. Also want to show up with a white belt mentality, okay? This is a new skill. You're not gonna be perfect at it the first week, especially when we get to complex exercises like the Turkish get up. It takes time to learn these and get better at them, and accept that going into it. Start with lightweight as well. It goes into the white belt mentality that I don't expect you to go start slinging 60 pounds around your first day. Work up to that. Track your metrics. That way you know your workouts are where they need to be. We are getting in this metabolic window. And we also want to structure our programming to have 3 to 4 workouts per week. Okay? They do not have to be more than 30 minutes long. I've done some within 15 to 20 minutes, and I do that regularly and consistently to fit into my busy schedule, and you can too. We want to work every plane of motion as we're doing these exercises. When we do this, we're going to hit all major muscle groups. We're going to also incorporate theories of progression and overload into our exercises week over week, month over month. That way we are improving and stressing our body more and more. We also want to incorporate explosive movements. Now, this is something that is great with kettlebell exercises because the majority of all the exercises you're going to do with kettlebells fit all these categories. When I talk about different planes of working, we have one called a sagittal plane in front of us, a horizontal or transverse plane, and a frontal plane of motion. And as we work all 3 of these, we will stay balanced with everything that we do in life. Now, all these exercises here are incorporating all those planes of motions. And that's one of the great things about kettlebell is we're getting every muscle group, every plane of motion, and a lot of the exercises we're doing. So I teach this in my online community with everyone that I work with. I walk you through exactly how to use kettlebell training, what exercises to use, and how to start progressing and scaling through those. And as I'm working with someone, I provide feedback through video submission where I review what you're doing, say, hey, this could be a little bit better. This is perfect. Keep on going. Let's increase the weight. Let's increase the reps. I do all that for you and take the guesswork out. I also want to help people understand their body as much as possible. So I link every system from the feet all the way to the head and how they link together, and also how to avoid injuries and know what certain pains may be so that you can treat it yourself without having to go see a medical doctor. Step 3 for losing these 15 pounds in 90 days and making the most of your time is to dial in our nutrition. Okay? We got to treat our body from the inside out as well. And when I say dial in our nutrition, I do not mean counting calories. That's overrated, outdated. We don't need it. What we need to start doing from now on is eating for fuel. I'm going to break this down on what it looks like more. But essentially, our goal is to win 5 days of your nutrition. Okay? We don't have to be perfect. We just have to be consistent. Within these 5 days, we're going to hit our protein goal. We're also going to get hydration, which is half our body weight in ounces per water, which can be done. And we want to minimize our processed and added sugars. Okay? This comes down to you're feeling full. If you're hitting these 3 metrics 5 days of the week, eat as much as you want those 5 days. You're not going to overeat, I promise you. On the other 2 days, enjoy yourself. Okay? Have cake, have ice cream, have pizza. I love to have pancakes, sometimes with ice cream. I know, guilty. But you can do that on these other days of the week, on the off days. I want you to reward yourself and treat yourself. Okay? Enjoy the food. But those 5 days, commit to yourself and make it happen. It can be done. And again, this is stuff that I teach you how to do if we decide to work together on this inside my community, to where I essentially want to make it easier for you to save as much time as possible and have all this done, have all the guesswork removed, and I can give you specific meal plans as well. But I like to teach this in a sustainable way so that you know how to do it moving forward by the time we're done working together. So if you can do these 3 things, where you have support, you train for performance, and you eat for fuel, and you are consistent over time, you are going to see results. You cannot lose. If you do this for multiple months straight, you will win. I guarantee it. Like my buddy Ross here, who's down 15 pounds. Okay. Now this guy is working 50 plus hours a week. He is a father of 2 and a dog dad and a husband. He also has a part-time fishing business where he takes people out on the weekend. Like, this man has so much stuff going on, but he still shows up and is able to do these workouts under 30 minutes, 4 times a week. And the results are amazing. And he's inspiring his children. He sent me a text the other day, or some Snapchat videos actually, of him taking his son for his birthday to like this American Ninja Warrior place, to where they were playing, going up and down. And he was like keeping up with his son, and he loved that. And I love getting messages like that. My client D, who's 3 months in and seeing these kinds of changes. Now, she is a single mom of 2 and a college professor where she manages many other kids. But she is doing awesome as well. Super busy, but able to do all these things and take care of herself and lead by example to her children. Steph was a full-time nurse as well as a full-time graduate student right now. And already 2 months in and seeing these kinds of changes. So if these people can do it, so can you. And I want to support you on the way there. So I want you to ask yourself the following questions now. What if you were able to redeem yourself for your past failures and take care of those once and for all? Feel pretty good, right? What if in a few months your friends and coworkers come up to you and ask what you've been doing and how they can do it as well? Like, what if you get messages like this just a month in? People already notices the changes, they know it's legit because you haven't really told anybody about it. Imagine that feeling. Feel pretty good, right? What if your kids start working out with you and see firsthand what a healthy person does and how they embody that for themselves and their future? Like, we're leading by example. What if you could do all this with 0 risk, 100% guaranteed success? Well, that's what I want to offer to you. If you book a call with me, that is my guarantee to you. I am so confident that I will get you there, that if for some reason I don't get you there, I'm going to work with you for free until I do. I'm going to use all my time to make sure I get you there. But I know you will get there because everyone else is getting there. So if you want, please book a call with me. I want to talk with you and get very clear on where you're at and what you're specifically struggling with so that I can best support you. Now, when you book a call with me, the best case scenario is that you're going to finally get past these problems, become the best version of yourself, lose body fat, build muscle, secure your future health, and have that confidence again. Very quickly, with support in the comfort of your own home, without counting calories or not eating your favorite foods. The worst case scenario, if we have this call together, is that we are going to identify exactly what's been holding you back. I'm going to point you in the right direction so that you can get started on your own and achieve these results faster on your own. So essentially, if you book a call with me, it's going to be a win-win scenario. So I hope you've enjoyed this free training. Please, if you're ready to get started, book a call with me so we can talk. I really can't wait to support you on this and help you out towards these goals. And I look forward to talking with you soon.